2.
You meant over with, but that's okay.
Oh my God, we are live. I can never like do that, like, radio jock, like hit the spot like when the song ends and they come right in. Folks, hello, welcome to Talking Crit. I am your bartender in the OSR, Eric Tenkar. Just to stage right of me is none other than Bad Mike, my once a week work spouse, and below us, not not the skeleton, but the individual in the red North Texas RPG Con shirt is none other than Gary Oliver, the man managing and running North Texas RPG Con these days. Yes, you are. Don't shake your head.
Sort of. Yeah, sort
I
of.
do it by myself. I have help.
Yeah, it's true. Come on, man. God, you just dissed me. Like,
No, you don't.
Threw me under that bus like you would not believe.
Uh-oh.
The bus is going 80
Hey, there's
miles
Ty.
an hour.
We got Ty in the room. Tie me up. Oh, that's gonna go.
Ty's been blowing us off lately. He must have had some really important golf tournaments or stuff. I don't know. Some steakhouses must have opened up in East Texas. He had to check out. So
There's some.
I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. So I got Diet Coke, I've got New Glarus beer, and I've got water tonight. I'm just gonna jump around, I guess. Whatever.
I've got my glass of red.
I forgot. We do that on this show.
Oh, see now.
Yeah, we do. We like to drink on it.
Okay, so I can. Hang on.
Yes,
I can fix that problem.
Okay. You see, that's a good setup.
There we go.
When I actually had my desk in the second part of the bedroom,
There you
I
go.
had a nice mini fridge.
Hey,
I
what's
don't
your
have
reserve?
that here.
Good choice.
Mini fridges are always nice.
Well, we have some interesting things to talk about this week because we have hit 1,500 subscribers, and I think we're at the point now. If we lose a couple, we won't go behind that.
We're
right?
at 15, 18. I was hoping to get to
We're okay.
25, but yeah.
Because we've hit it before where we hit like 1,000, and then it was like 998, then it was like 1,001, then it was 999. We're like, but no, we're firmly at 1,500 subscribers now. So that means we like to give away money. So if you're in stream and you're posting, and I see that it looks like there's already 1, 2, 3, 4 people, 5 people posted, we're going to put your name in the hat, and we're going to start drawing some gift certificates.
Right. So I think we'll for the early risers or the early attendees, we'll do the first one around 8:30 Eastern, and that'll be for 100, and then we'll do another one at 9 for 50, and then we'll have 2 others. Well,
yeah,
we'll
great.
Spread the wealth around.
I love to give away free stuff.
Cool.
Oh, I do too.
I like that we're giving away stuff on the show I'm on. That's awesome.
There you go. And it's a show that we're not giving away your stuff, and it's something that Mike doesn't have to ship. How about that?
We can give away stuff. I don't mind giving away. We'll give some con stuff away. We can give that away. I don't mind.
All right, we'll see.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe we give away some backpacks or stuff coming up here. But so as you see below us, we have one very essential part of North Texas RPG Con, Mr. Gary Oliver, and Gary and I and David have been kind of doing this thing for the last couple of years. The first year, 2021, we just kind of got thrown into it. We're like, hey, guess what? Doug's not going to be here. Oh, and so we had to sink or swim, and we swam, man. We did it okay. And then we did it this year, and once again, everything worked out pretty good. So I think this is going to work out okay. But Gary is the dude who does all the stuff I don't want to do and I don't know how to do, which translates to anything computer driven. So he's the one that's making sure the tabletop event site's up and all that fun stuff. And as some of you may know, we went live Monday, right?
Monday night at midnight. It was late, but I did meet the August 1st deadline. So
yes,
okay.
we went live and we went ahead and we're selling tickets, and we're up to how many?
48. We have 48.
Woo-hoo!
We have 48 registered attendees, excluding the currently 4 staff members and So we have 48 people.
And since we're
signed up.
probably going to have about 30 special guests, we can just say 70 right now. Because
Exactly. You can put us at close to a 70,
it's
75 right now. So there you go. Well,
So we're gonna go.
keep in mind, there's probably 7 staff members that aren't on the list. I'll just generate their tags tonight. I have 4 badges that are rollovers I've got to generate tonight. So, I mean, we're crossing into the 60 number pretty quick.
So we and as you know, if you listen to Eric's show, Kurt Gould's here tonight too. So he must
Kurt's
want
here.
something.
Tammy and Tom Verholt got badges. They think they are 11 and 13. Dan,
Kurt's got. So Kurt, he didn't know this, but he's contractually obligated to appear in his crab costume from now until the end of time. He thought
better him than me.
It was a one-time only thing. But
just so Tammy knows, Tammy is 12 and Thomas is 14.
Oh, all right. Okay. So you were giving yourself one position better than I actually should have. Oopsie.
But we talk about
guess who's right between them.
Oh dear,
Bill Barsh.
No, Bill Barsh. who I think we're going to have a guest on the show coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah,
we'll have Mr. Barsh. Well, anyway, so we talk about North Texas a lot on this show. Because it's my favorite con because I help run it, but it's also Eric's favorite con and Rachel's favorite con.
Yep.
And so we do talk about it a lot. And I know it seems like, there's just so much going on in gaming stuff. Why are you spending all this time talking about the con? Because it really is the best gaming con there is. And we might discuss why if we talk about, we're going to talk about Gary Con tonight at all, or we're just going to pretend like it didn't happen. No, we're not going to pretend like it didn't happen. So we're going to talk about Gary Con.
We're talking about Gary Con. Listen, I haven't seen, I might have missed it. I checked when I woke up this morning. I didn't see any actual updates to the policy. I don't know if they have.
No, we'll talk
there
about
are no updates. It's the same policy.
Oh, no, we mean Gary Con's policy.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh,
yeah. So we're going to talk about that a little bit and how we slightly differ from that. But actually, I think everybody's slightly different from it because apparently Gen Con also differs from that. So it's going to be interesting. We'll talk about
we're different because the state of Texas says we're different. So
we can't do what they do.
Right.
But what I understand,
want to get that out there right now. It's we have to follow state and city guidelines. So
here's the issue with Gary Con. We might as well just jump right in then and talk about this. Gary Con, the state's not making him do this, are they, Eric?
No, state's not. The county's not. Because here's the thing, and the details are, as it's written now, as the policy, as Skip Williams told people, you have to be current as per the CDC guidelines. That's not fully vaxxed, current. And current goes beyond fully vaxxed. So that would mean your latest booster, which right now there's 4 for most people. And the interesting is, it does not mean that the staff at the Grand Geneva are going to necessarily be vaxxed. It does not mean that other hotel attendees, and no matter how many gamers you squeeze into that effing hotel, there are always families that are vacationing there. They're not going to be necessarily vaxxed. They're not required to. So it's a lot of requirements for something that you've already opened up the barn door and the horses have already fled. In my opinion, I'm not a doctor. So
so for a little bit of history here. So when COVID hit in 2020, Gary Con was really the first major convention to get canceled because all the shit started coming down right after Total Con and right before Gary Con, and they had about 2 weeks to figure out what the hell they were going to do. And so they ended up, it was pretty much a mess for a while. They ended up getting an online convention going, but they had to cancel, and then it just felt like a bunch of dominoes. All these other people started canceling at that point. This is 2020. 2021 rolled around. There was another big COVID outbreak. They canceled again in 2021, and so they had to cancel 2 years in a row. And luckily, by that time, North Texas, we were able to have the full con, because we actually had a con in 2020 also.
That's right.
Because it was maybe like 75 people there. It wasn't too big. We didn't want anybody from out of state coming in, so we just said, look, if you're nearby, you want to come, great. If not, don't worry about it. So, but Gary Con had to cancel 2 years in a row. And that's, if you know anything about cons, that's really tough. That's very, very tough because Gary Con is one of those conventions, not unlike a lot of other ones, where they really depend on the money from the con to keep going. And there's some cons that do, there's some cons that don't. And we saw during COVID, there was a lot of cons that went under permanently because they were closed so long and they missed so many years, they just couldn't handle it financially anymore. And some have never come back yet. Some there's a local con, AlCon, that's at Rice University. They have missed 3 years in a row. They missed this year also, and I guess they'll come back, but I don't know. They may not after 3 years.
There's a financial momentum that happens, right. And if you break it up, then it's problematic.
Oh, definitely.
So,
and that's huge because once people get out of that habit, it becomes a routine. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm probably out of the Gary Con habit. I went for a number of years. It was habit, and now it's habitually no longer a habit for me. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't understand what Cuthbert said. They didn't cancel 2 years in a row. Gary Con, yes, they did. They had virtual cons most of those years. Now, if you're talking about Gen Con, that's different. I was talking about no, Gary Con. No, Gary Con definitely canceled 2 years in a row.
Yes,
they canceled 2020 and 2021. And Eric and I know that because we go every year, and we had to not go in 2020 and not go in 2021. So yes, they did cancel physical cons both of those years. I'm sorry. 20. Okay, so they canceled 2020.
20 was a last minute cancellation, and 2020 that was canceled like 2 weeks prior.
And the 2021 canceled because
was the con that never was,
right,
because they didn't even schedule it.
And the 2021 there was an outbreak, really pretty much that was Omicron. No, it wasn't Omicron. That was Delta. Delta hit really bad in 2021. But they came back this year. They did have a convention in 2022. The ill-fated Satine and Jameson wedding con, for those who might have attended. So they missed 2 years in a row. They were under a lot of pressure to really start having a con again because Gary Con, and this is nothing against Gary Con, it's just that they're one of those cons they really need, like Gary said, they need the momentum. They need money, the money to run the con. And so they had the con this year, but they had some pretty strict rules. They required a mask, and they required a Vax card with the usual two shots.
Yep.
Did you actually have to show it?
I have heard yes and no. It depends on who was working the front and what was going on there, but
just
well, I went to Gamehole Con last year, and they required a Vax card. I'd never showed mine though, and it was I think it was because I registered early. I got there like the day before, and I went and picked up my ticket. Now I had my Vax card, but I just didn't. I wasn't asked to show it. I understood some people did show theirs, so it was kind of hit and miss. And I don't know how GaryCon was, but I know that they required a Vax card. Well, this year. So it's very convoluted. So they pop up on their thing. So by the way, you're going to need to be current with your vaccination. That means not just your vaccinations, but 2 boosters.
As of today, it can change before next March.
Immediately, that was a brouhaha on the page because there is many reasons why you might not get a booster. And we could point to all kinds of stuff. Eric, have you had 2 boosters?
No, I've only had 1. And by the way, I'm going to just throw this out there. There is, I speak to a lot of people. A lot of people reach out to me, and I've had people thank me for the coverage I did of GaryCon in particular, including people that are I guess you could say part of that circle, because they have doctors that have told them, hey, you had a reaction to your initial shot, no more for you. As of now, there are no medical exemptions. There's no test that you can take. Like apparently last time you could show a negative test 48 hours before or whatever it was, 72 hours. That's all not on the table now. So
that is a big sticking point, people, because that's what Gamehole does. You can either have you have to have a vaccine, or you have to show a negative test that's done within 5 days, which I think is perfectly reasonable. Yep. If I didn't want to get the shot, I would go up there and say, hey, here's proof that I do not have COVID. Because, yes, there are assholes that will go to cons when they're sick. They're just
I'm vaccinated, but I couldn't find my Vax card if I had to. I mean, I just don't know where it is. I'm sorry.
Well, so I also did not have a booster, and that was because I got Omicron this January, and I was told by 2 medical doctors, one the emergency room physician when I brought my wife in for some issues, another who's a very good friend of mine, been a practicing physician for over 25 years, that in their opinion, because I had Omicron, there's no point in getting the second vaccine because the second vaccine is supposed to protect you against what? Omicron.
I was told the same thing by my cardiologist.
They said, you've had it. There's no point in getting it. Because it's all it's going to do is protect you against Omicron. You've already had Omicron. So if you haven't seen the GaryCon page, it's a cluster because there's people that have all kinds of reasons why they are not getting both boosters, and they're very upset that they can't show a negative test like they could last year. Now, it's a long way till the con. I expect things to change, but one of the bad things about this is they're suggesting that you stay current with what is considered current. So if there's another booster shot in December, that's going to go on the list too. So you're going to have 3 boosters. And that just rubs a lot of people the wrong way because they're like, wait a second. Last year, you weren't even this strict last year. We were able to just show a card, no boosters necessary, and we could show a negative test. And this year, there's no negative test. So it's been interesting what's going on there. And then the part about it that's interesting is this is not required in the state of Wisconsin. This is just something that they're doing. Last year for Gamehole Con, the county that Gamehole was in, it was required that we wear a mask. And I had to wear a mask the whole con, which I hated, absolutely detested, but I did. And it was required that you have, if you go to a large event, that you had a Vax card. Because that's what the county required. The Dane County required that. I don't think the county's requiring this now, or the state.
The county isn't because the hotel isn't. And here's the other thing. Yeah. This past GaryCon, I have been told by numerous attendees that mask enforcement was lackadaisical at best. Maybe there were a handful of con employees that were very stringent about it, but most just turned a blind eye to it. But then some people felt that, well, that kind of defeats the purpose of having a mask mandate, which is, is it theater or is it being done because you believe? If you're not enforcing it, then it isn't something that you believe in. But the idea that you're going to tell people they're probably going to need 5 shots to go to your convention isn't the issue with me. The issue with me is, as far as I understand, this isn't a pop-up on the registration page where you see it and before I go any further, I have to read this because there's no refunds. So you can put it down.
That's getting
that to me is, you can make whatever policies you want, but if your policies also include no refunds and you not hide, but if you're not putting your policies prominently up there when people register and you force them to read it and they can't get a refund, I don't see that as being fair. The person could, they sell expensive tickets. It's
$100. It's $100 a pop for silver. Silver's the lowest tier, by the way.
Yeah,
they have gold, platinum, whatever. So the lowest tier is $100. So yes, their tickets are they're pricey. Honestly, I kind of expect this to change. I think something is going to happen because there's just too many unhappy people out there.
There's no medical exemptions. Apparently, last year, if your doctor wrote a letter and said you can't be vaxxed or whatever, you could come with that letter. You'd stay masked, and and be done. I understand they were trying to probably streamline it, and
Right.
I also believe that there were the best intentions to make for a safe environment, but at the same time, there are there's a reality of the logistics of this too. And when you're holding a convention in a venue that has normals, right? Non-con attendees that are going to be at the hotel, they are not subject to the same restrictions. So if there's going to be a vector of this disease, it's still going to be there. And again, I am not a doctor. I say this constantly, but we all know now, and for those that Jimmy Dore, one of his recent videos, had this whole thing about all these people that in the beginning told us that if you get your shots, you're never going to get COVID. And Ben, Mike, and I can tell you what, I had 3 shots. I got COVID a month and a half after my 3rd shot.
Same here. I mean, I had both my shots. I got COVID. It's just COVID is the thing about COVID now. It's a fact of life. It's just something we're going to live with. I saw someone on Facebook today that actually posted this. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I'm still not going to cons because there's still COVID around. Dude, that means you're not going to go to a con maybe ever, because COVID is not going away anytime. So if you're not going right now because COVID's around, you're probably never going to go to a con.
Lisa got it, and then I got it from her, obviously, but I was only sick for 3 days. I mean, and didn't take off work. I mean, I worked from home, but I mean, it just, I had no fever. I didn't have any aches or anything. I mean, I didn't have any bad symptoms. I had a runny nose, and that was about it. And it's just different for everybody.
And that's what we hope that and the more mutation's actually good in this case, because it's going to mutate to be less and less
more contagious, contagious and less virulent.
Right. That's what
impactful on your health, and that's what we're seeing. But we're talking from what we've read and what we've watched. We're not talking again as medical professionals. And I know you get all pissy about this. I don't want anybody thinking that we're talking as medical professionals. We're talking from our experiences. You know, I was vaxxed and boosted, and Rich and I both came down with it. So,
and by the way, so I want to make a point about the no refunds thing. I mean, it seems like we're taking shots at Gary Con. We're really not. We like Gary Con. We like Luke. Yep. But these are just facts that we're talking about from our experience about running cons, at least Gary and I. But the reason that North Texas offers a full rollover refund, and actually Gary will refund if the need is there. If you say, look, I really need the money back, we don't make a point of talking about it, but Gary, yes, he will refund you. But mostly we just ask people if they could roll over. The reason we do that is, and this is just human nature, if somebody spends a lot of money on a hotel room and a ticket and a flight, and you tell them there's no refund, you know what? They're going to show up to the con if they're sick. Yeah. And they're going to say, well, they're going to justify it by saying, well, I don't want to lose my money. And so I got a little cough. I don't feel that good, but I'm going to go anyway because I can't justify losing the money. And that's why you offer people refunds and you offer to roll over. You don't want to send people at your con.
Well, and I prefer the rollover, obviously, for the financial impact. But I'm sorry. It's like the post somebody posted today that they needed to. Well, they were going to wait to register for the discount. I said, I get it. I understand. We do not want the finances to be a barrier to entry. I don't. And if people need the money back, one guy last year lost his job. I'm not going to make him roll that over. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Yes.
And so I sent him a refund immediately. I was like, dude, no problem here. Go.
And if you get COVID, see, here's the thing. If you get COVID and like Gary said, let's say you just got a sniffle and you do your COVID test, I'm positive. Well, do I want to lose the money that I would have spent on Con X, or should I just go? I've got a little sniffle, no big deal. Well, if you know anything about COVID, you are usually super contagious, like way contagious, especially in the first few days of the disease. And that's why you tell people, look, if you're sick, don't come. If you got sniffles or this, that, don't come. But it makes it worse when you're not going to give them their money back. It's just human nature. They're just like, I just don't want to waste this money. I don't feel very bad. And for some reason, Western civilization has this macho thing that, hey, even if you're sick, you need to go to work, or even if you're sick, you need to do this, that. And you get these people that are just a little bit sick. Yep. That are like, yeah, we're going to get on the plane. I'm going to go there. They're going to make everybody in this plane sick. They're going to make everybody in the airport sick. They're going to make everybody they get in contact with sick. And that's when you're going to have a giant outbreak at this convention. It's much easier to just say, look, if you're sick, stay home. We'll take care of it. We do not want you to come to our con, and we so much don't want you to come to our con that we're going to give your money back because we don't want you going. So I understand on one level why you don't offer refunds. I get it, but this is what you leave yourself open for when you don't give refunds, is people coming up to your convention sick. I know
but to be clear, that is not the primary
no, it is.
We're doing it because
it's the right thing.
People have problems that come up, and I don't want to be a jerk.
Yeah, and Gamehole Con will roll over your ticket. I've talked to Alex about that. Matter of fact, the policy for Gamehole Con is that you just have to show a Vax card, no boosters. If you don't have that, they would like you to take a COVID test within 5 days and show a negative test at the front door. But as of this year, as of right now, they have no mask mandate. Dane County does not have a mask mandate. And Gary and I, our policy is if you want to wear a mask, fine. Why would we
have at it?
Mask? Yeah, I mean, that's just, honestly, a mask protects me from you. So, yeah, if you want to wear a mask, I am 100% for that. You wear a mask all day because mask is more for preventing you to spread something than it is from you to catch something. Dr. Fauci himself, the head poobah, has gone on record, and you could find the quote as saying cloth masks are virtually worthless. They right. do very little. So
you got a little schmutz on your nose. You got the cloth mask.
Unless you're wearing an N95, it's like TSA. It's security theater, man. You're not doing anything.
It's kabuki security theater.
Wait, Mike, you're telling me that like they wouldn't catch a taser if I went through security with it?
It's funny you mention that story because I have one of your tasers, Eric, that you managed to sneak through security.
I didn't sneak it through. I was oblivious to the fact that I had it on me.
It was not. He didn't sneak it through. It was blatant. He was.
He wasn't like he had it in the air, and he wasn't going.
He was waving it in the air.
It looks like a little shaver, like a little travel shaver. And I guess
it does look like that, yes.
Yeah.
So don't shave yourself with it. That would be very.
Oh no!
I would love to see you try to shave with that. That'd be awesome. I'm
scared of tasers, man. They scare the hell out of me. Now, no, I'm not doing that. So yeah, they're not. It's security theater, and wearing a cloth mask. I'm sorry, friends. It's security theater, and that's why I carry a really shitty cloth mask in my car. Because when I go in someplace and they require that I have to have a mask, I slap on that absolutely worthless cloth mask and walk through there because at this point I don't care. If you're gonna get sick, you're gonna get sick, right?
Right.
So that's what Gamehole's doing, and that's what they did last year, and this is what the county demands they do, or the county's asked them to do. But this is just going over the top, I could speculate. I'm not even going to speculate because I don't want to say anything ugly. I don't know why they're doing it this way. I really don't, because all it is engendering a lot of ill will on their page. Because then you have the people popping up their page going, well, yeah, unless you have 2 shots and 2 boosters, this and that, then you're an asshole trying to kill me. Right. And so that's how quickly it elevates to the next level.
How do people leap to that? That's not it.
They just do. They just think that you're trying to kill them if you don't have that. And so all it causes is fans to fight with fans.
Yep.
Everybody's mad about that. Everybody's angry. And you got all these questions. Just go look at the page. There's questions about, I only have 1 booster. My doctor said not to get another booster. I did this. I did that. And rather than have to deal with each person individually, because this is a one-size-fits-all. We all know one-size-fits-all does not work and stuff like this.
Oh.
If you make these one-size-fits-all demands, this is what happens. Everybody has their own little story. And Eric and I talked about this 2 years ago. I knew this was going to happen once people started going off the rails on, we got to do this and we got to do that. All it ends up doing is you get frustrated because you have to answer all these questions, and it just ends up being very very adversarial. And you shouldn't be that. You shouldn't be adversarial with a con.
But you know what? Honestly, it's because my personal opinion is policies like this are done by one individual who's running with the reins and throws it out there. Hey, what about a vax policy? Oh yeah, we probably should have everybody vaxxed. All right, current CDC recommendations. Let's go beyond what Gen Con is doing this year. We're going to say all your shots that you could potentially have, and then forget about any kind of medical exemptions or somebody who could test prior to coming. Again, like Mike, your wife would not be able to go.
No, because she has not. She has medical reason for not getting her shot. She has
Yeah.
a doctor's note, but I
Yeah.
don't. Okay, what's that going to do? Her doctor's note.
Right.
You know, she has a
Right,
she has a
but-
physician's note that says she does not need a shot.
Yeah, I mean,
because of
cannot have it. It has
Yes.
to have adverse effects. My sister had her first shot, had heart palpitations, and that was it. She was shut down by her cardiologist. Now, somebody like that, and I know somebody else like that who reached out to me. If your cardiologist is saying not for you, this could kill you, but but you can't go to, not because you're doing anything wrong. I don't get it, especially when the shot. Again, not speaking as a doctor, but from what I understand now, it protects you from serious illness. It does not protect you from spreading the disease. It does not protect you from getting the disease. So if you're getting a shot, it's to benefit yourself, right? Not getting a shot, it's not going to hurt anybody besides yourself because it doesn't stop the exchange. I don't know. I just find it very.
There's a million different reasons, and there's all kinds of different reasons why. Because at first, if you didn't get a shot, you're killing babies, right? That's what it jumped to. Like, oh my gosh, you're killing people. And then people, as it went on, people realized, oh wait, you can get myocarditis. You get a heart palpitations. Oh, that's really bad if you're 18 years old and you get a shot. I mean, it started coming out all these reasons. I didn't even know this. I found this trend on Facebook. It was fascinating. Did you know you can go deaf from the shot?
Really?
I had no clue. And I read an article on it, and I found the Facebook group for these people. It can cause deafness, and it's very rare, but there's a whole Facebook support group for people who have had the shot and they've gone deaf in one or two of the other ears. Doctors have said this is absolutely a side effect you can have happen.
By the way, thanks.
I didn't hear about that. That's just shocking. But yeah, I read an article on it. Then I checked the Facebook group out, and there's tons of people on there going, yep. I went deaf after. Now, sometimes your hearing comes back. It's kind of like your now. See, my sense of smell and taste is still wonky after having the COVID in January. I still haven't got it back fully. But yeah, I don't want to go deaf. That sucks.
I want to thank Bob G for being badge 58. He just bought a badge.
Nice. We're jumping up there. That's great.
Thanks, Robert.
All right,
and then Robert Roberts, yes, there will be non-COVID topics. I've been seeing your questions in the chat, and I'm ready to answer all of them, but they keep going on about COVID.
Yeah, we're going to do a transition right now. We're going to give away $100.
Oh,
hey, there you go.
Gift certificates.
Hey, and this is Carl approved. Carl loves giving away $100.
Oh, he does? Well, oh, he doesn't seem very excited, but I mean,
So what it's going to do it is going to search the chat for anybody. If you didn't chat yet, if you haven't sent a message in the chat, I'm going to give you about 60 seconds with the get your chat in.
Get your name in there and your
Eric, are you rolling dice for this?
No, I got a giveaway through. I got a giveaway.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
In the beginning, we used to roll dice. I used to have to go through the chat and write down. Oh my effing god!
Those are the old days. Yeah,
there's got to be an electronic tool for this.
No,
there finally is. There finally is. Integrated into StreamYard. So God bless StreamYard.
All right, now this is for $100 through drive-through.
For
$100 drive-through certificate.
All right.
I can spend $100 in 5 minutes there, so that this will be no problem.
See, look at that.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh, hey. Sean just started posting.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sean,
way to go, man.
Email me at 10cars.tavern@gmail.com. I'll put it into the chat, and I will get it out to you probably later on tonight or tomorrow morning. I will.
So I want to.
This part where you tell me and Gary that we can't win this prize, right?
Well, you guys can't win this prize. Neither could your
Son of a
brothers. Your
bitch.
brothers
Yeah,
popped in.
that doesn't seem right.
Right.
By the way, I agree 100%. Dandelion Game says, since I'm on, maybe we'll talk about.
By the way,
Battletech.
that's Lou. That's Luau Lou. Just in
Oh,
case
okay. So Lou said maybe because I'm on, we could talk about BattleTech. So.
Oh no. Lou, what the hell? Come on.
But so when you see
Don't get him
BattleTech,
talking about BattleTech. We're not talking
really
about
you really mean alcohol.
Jesus.
By the way, just
Stop
a heads up. I know Tammy already did this, and I appreciate it, Tammy. Thank you, folks. If you look at your bottom, if you're not watching full screen, if you're looking at the little cat, there's a join button. For $1.99, you get to support this channel, what we do. It includes the giveaways. That includes better equipment for people like, well, Mike. I don't know if he needs better equipment, but we'll see.
Hey, last year Eric bought me these wonderful headphones because
I don't know
what I was using. You want to see what I was using a year ago? Oh my god!
I don't know that Mike needs better equipment. Mike needs better training, I think, is the problem.
This is what I was using a year ago, and Eric couldn't deal with it anymore. He couldn't deal with watching this anymore.
So Eric, thank you.
They paid me to get some nice new headphones. They're wonderful. Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you for the show. But that was money that y'all gave to us to help us out through the
And I appreciate it. I really enjoy giving back to this community. So you get a few tchotchkes like Tammy shows up as green, at least on my side. I don't know what it looks like on your side. And there are some little like emojis, like beer glasses and wine glasses that you can play with when you send comments.
And Tammy does show up in green in the
okay.
Paul in the chat too.
And so does Paul.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you so much. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Paul, am I roboting again? Paul had problems with me last week too. He says I'm roboting. Is that
you're not? I don't.
No, you're not. Not tonight. You were last week, but not tonight.
That's what you said. Yeah, that's what everybody said. But I have no control over that, folks. I don't know if that's my computer, the router.
It's the internet.
I don't know what internet. It's
a router, which we need to move inside. That router is not to be in the warehouse.
No, it does not. It does not. It can be inside, which we
next time I go over there, remind me and I'll move it.
Okay. By the way, I got the toilet fixed today, so.
Well, there you go.
I'm afraid to find.
I'm the only one that uses the toilet, so.
It's working.
The flap was broken, so it means every time I flushed it, I had to reach in there and pull the little chain and move the little flap over the hole.
Right.
So first world problems then.
I was
definitely a first world problem.
I thought maybe it was a blockage in the toilet, and that never mind.
Yes, I hadn't flushed it in 3 months. That was the problem.
My God.
So I finally flushed it, which is great. It turned out when I flushed it, it was great. So that was so I got that fixed. I don't even know if I told you about that one. So
you did not.
The flap was broken. Got that done. So
next time I'm over there, remind me, and I'll move the router.
The router inside. That's a great idea. Yes, we definitely do that. It's too damn hot out in that warehouse.
Yes, Bob G. That's awesome.
Shitter's cool.
That's awesome.
I can tell you some stories from my college days that I will not share. People on their teenage boys on their own for the first time, who had been taken care of their whole life by their family, who did not know how to unclog a toilet, and that's where I'll leave the story, and I will not continue the story. That was a dorm, the college I went to, and they became famous in that dorm for the havoc they wreaked due to that clogged up toilet that was clogged up for like months. That's college. That's college days. But we won't.
I don't think I could have lasted a day with a clogged up toilet.
Oh, they lasted like a month, and it was bad. But they should have charged people to come look at it. I saw it, and it will haunt my dreams to this day. It still haunts my dreams.
All right, then.
So yes, that was not the problem. I'm pretty clean when it comes to stuff like bathrooms. I don't like filth. I don't like dirty garbage. I'll show you how nice. I've got like 5 cleaning products on the shelf in the bathroom in here. I spray everything down all the time. So.
Nice.
Yes. And I know that's what you wanted to hear tonight too.
There you go.
Mike's proud of his bathroom etiquette at the
very much so. Yes, I have a Swifter mop too. I like the Swift.
Going through some of the comments online, I'll start by saying, yes, ticket sales are live. No, I don't know why it's not showing up in search. It shows up in search for me, but that may be because I'm administering it. I don't know. I'll look into that and get it resolved. But I did post the link a couple of times in chat. Tickets are on sale. The base ticket price is $100 for the whole weekend. There is a code that you can enter. There you go. He just posted it. You can put a code in NTX30, and you can get $30 off until 11:45 p.m. on August 31st. Then that code is deactivated, and that's it. And so, anyway, there you go. That's the basics of the ticket pricing.
Thank you.
Is this where like we need a bell to ring the bell, bing bing, or whatever the professional?
Oh, wait a minute. Well, I could do that too.
Yeah, we need to ring a bell or something. So say, hey.
There.
So, one of the so we're talking North Texas a little bit here. So last year, for those who, I guess Doug. Obviously, Doug passed away last year. He was not able to make his final con, which sucked. He was able to stay at home, pass away at home, which is great, surrounded by friends and family and all that good stuff. But we did not. We got a very late start preparing the con last year, because it was we had a lot going on. Gary and I had a lot going on last year.
So to give some people some history on how this normally worked, before the convention would be in June, Doug would start registrations end of July or 1st of August, just like I did. And then he would work the website all through August and September. Doug was at home on hospice in July and August, and then died in September. I didn't start working on the website because of all of the family business and estate business and whatever until the end of December.
Yep.
So I was 6 months behind right off the bat.
And besides being behind, we still got everything done, but it was a mess, right, Gary? I mean, it was just
it was hard.
So many things in such a tight time period. This year we had talked about it, and we pledged that we were going to get an early start on this, or earlier than normal, and so we're keeping our promise here. So we're hoping that things go a lot smoother this year. I'm hoping we're going to do some things we weren't able to do last year, because we were so tight. Like we didn't have any merchandise sales last year. We couldn't get it up. I mean, we just didn't have time to put merchandise or do anything like that.
We did have T-shirt sales, but that was the base. We were going to do a lot more this year. I got the ticket sales up by August 1st as promised. I will have vendor space and all of that up by this weekend. And then and that goes with it. Along with that, Squeaky Cage tickets and some of the base level merch that goes along with the site, I'll have all that up. But within the next month or so, we'll also get T-shirt sales will be up on the web starting next week. But also we'll start having mugs and mouse pads, whatever. All that stuff will be available where it wasn't last year. So we're going to really try to be
one of the things
further ahead.
Yeah. Jeffrey Tulane slipped in.
Jeff Tulane said a really nice thing about us. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
He's a good. And by the way, I'm hoping you can be a special guest again this year, Jeff. So you should be getting a call from the special guest fairy soon, and hopefully you can come again, because Jeff's been a special guest several years in a row, and he's a great special guest, and we share a bond now. Jeff and I we share a Robert E. Howard bond, and that's something you can never break, Jeff. That's something that will do forever. And is that after the con was over, Jeff, Greg Gillespie, and I jumped in the car and we headed down to Cross Plains, Texas, to visit the birthplace of one Robert E. Howard, and so. This is a very small tribe. The first year we did this, it was me, Steve Winter, John Lyle, and who was the fourth guy? Oh God, I can't remember. And so then this year it was myself, Greg, and Jeff. So we share a We share a very tight bond that can never be broken now. And also, if anybody, it works. If anybody attacks one of the other of us, we have this mental link that happens, and we appear there in Conan the Barbarian full gear with a sword and a battle axe. And
Very
so,
nice.
yeah, anything it's great. So if anything happens to one of us, the other ones will boom. All the Conan brothers will appear there. It's awesome.
I should note, because Mike, I'm having to make sure to remind this reminder, by the way, is not for people just watching this cast. It's for mainly for Mike. All special guest announcements will be made at one time this year.
Yes.
They will not be trickled out. It will be a one-time announcement of all the guests.
I'm going to trickle. I don't care what Gary
whatever.
says.
Mike will sneak stuff out to the
I trickled a few weeks ago. I told Ian and Rocky they were special guests on the show. So you can't stop me, Gary. You can try to stop me, but you can't stop me.
He's a force of nature.
Just remember, I pay the electric bill at the warehouse. So if you want the air conditioner to work.
Officially, we have no special guests yet. They will all be announced at the same time.
If you want to switch to the oldies, Mike, you can feel free to do so. Gary,
unofficially, I think there's a 99.999% chance Jeff Toledo will be asked. That's unofficial, though.
That's fine.
That's absolutely.
I'm just telling you, we're going to try to do this all at one time.
Yes.
Dandelion Games wants to know a little bit about how vendor space works.
So I saw that. I was going to say. So the way the vendor spaces work is we have one main vendor room that has tables all around it and 3 game tables in the middle. We had a couple of discussions and some feedback. There's pros and cons to having the game tables in that vendor space. I've had people say they don't like gaming in there because it's too loud, because you're obviously in the vendor space. I get and I get that. We also have vendors who love it because they can run games and watch their booth. So, we've talked about that. One of the ideas that we talked about, and we have not just made a decision on, was taking the game tables out and putting more vendor tables in the main vendor room. Vendor space is basically delegated by seniority. So vendors who've been there the longest get their space choices first, obviously. We also have vendor space out in the main arboretum area there. We have tables. The ballroom area. And so, and then also the 2 big ballrooms we have vendor space there.
Then we have, and also when you walk in, there's the artist alley, but there's some vendors usually set up there, like Clark sets up.
Clark is always up on this front edge, and so is Diesel.
The
and
Publishers Union was there.
Skeeter's crew likes to be right there on the front. So,
so there's like 3 different places basically you have vendors. I personally, I like having the tables in the vendor room. I just think it's cool to have gaming in the same room that we had the vendors, and I like that. When we first started doing this, we had some negative feedback from having vendors in the ballroom, mostly because we were very bad about scheduling games here. That hasn't been the case for the last 2 years. We've had people that have been in the ballroom and have enjoyed being in the ballroom. They said, like, yeah, it's great because there's tons of space in there.
Well, they like it because there's a lot of room. The guy that brought all that terrain, he loved it.
Yep. And the comics guy, Pocket Jack, loved it because he got to set up his gigantic display there. Now, the one complaint we had last year, which is something we're going to have to look at this year, was the thermostat was broken in the ballroom, which sucked.
Okay. I have addressed that. I already have a solution for that, and they have a solution for that. They know what happened, and so we're going to fix that. Yeah,
it was as hot as it was in Texas last year. It was an ice box.
You could hang meat in that room. It was, and the reason was they had set it for convention space of 300 people.
Yes,
there's not 300 people in that room, so there's not 300 body heats in that room. So that's what the problem was. Anyway.
Oh, it makes sense. Okay.
It will be addressed. I've already talked to her about it. It's handled.
Right.
So.
Bob, the Reaper guys were very cool to meet. It was nice to actually.
Joe Wolf, and then of course we had a bunch of Reaper people show up the next day, which is great.
I like the Reaper people. They were really cool.
They're great. I'll be seeing them. Frog Dog Games will be at ReaperCon, and also the half the table will be Frog Dog Games, half the table will be North Texas RPG Con. So if you're going to be in Denton and Labor Day weekend, Zach will be there, and we'll be running a table, Frog God Games / North Texas RPG Con.
And since we're talking about North Texas RPG Con event appearances, I will also be at Long Con with Carl. And we are, and I think Barsh is planning to be there. And they are, Pacesetter Games is going to sponsor a boardroom that North Texas is going to also, we'll have some banners there. But we're going to actually run, and this will be good for Lou. We're going to run Friday Night BattleTech at Long Con. So for all the people who ever wanted to be in Friday Night BattleTech, we're going to just move it to Long Con and get in just as much trouble there.
Oh, like evicted from the room.
Yes, whatever. I don't want to talk about that. That was wrong.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That after years of dodging the popo, they finally got caught this year, because you're not supposed to have booze or wait, you can have booze in the con. It just has to be booze purchased at the
hotel, and it's a TABC rule, not the hotel.
So for years, we've been sneaking in booze to the BattleTech game.
Yeah,
and we never got caught before. Who do we blame?
Leave it to me to get caught.
It was you. Okay,
it was me. Yeah.
We got caught, and they got ejected from the room.
I'm sure Doug was rolling over somewhere when I cannot believe he did that.
Yeah, and so they had to switch to a boardroom.
Well, we relocated to a boardroom, and everybody said, "Why didn't we do that in the first place?" So
I don't know.
From now on, that's what. Solved for next year. We're not doing that, so it'll be in a ballroom next year.
Oh, I want to one other thing too. Another North Texas appearance. Convention's been gone for 2 years. It's coming back this year. It's Texas Game Expo. It's run by Robert Miklos and who comes to our con, and a few other people. It's in Grapevine, the Grapevine Convention Center, Grapevine, Texas, right by the airport. And I will have a booth there with my own personal stuff there, but I will also be pimping North Texas stuff too, a North Texas thing. So
you gotta take North Texas stuff.
Yeah, we're going to be. So we have ReaperCon coming up the end of August. We have Texas Game Expo the end of September. LongCon is in October, correct?
November.
Oh, November. Well, I've got some October news here. This just happened this week. This week. I've talked to Alex Kamer, and I will be attending Gamehole Con this year. I was not going to attend, and I hate to say it. I was going to go to Gary Con next year, but I'm very disappointed at their policies, and I'm not going to go. And so I had an open spot on my schedule. I talked to Alex Kamer, and we're buddies with Alex Kamer, for those who know. And I saw him when I was up in Wisconsin a few weeks ago, and so I'm going to be at. I've worked it in. He got me a room and ticket, and so I will be at Gamehole.
Nice.
At the Frog Out Games booth, but I will also be pimping some North Texas stuff there too. So we're going to be making a lot of appearances this fall talking about North Texas.
Well, and per Mike's request, I'm actually getting out more representing North Texas.
That's
Mike says, "You got to introduce yourself to more people," and I'm like, "Really? Okay." So.
Well, I mean, for years I traveled all these cons, Gary Con and Gamehole Con. I mean, I'm always going this year. I went to Snow Con. I went all over the place, and Gary was not in. He's not in the loop. He wasn't a gamer guy necessarily. He likes to play BattleTech, but he was not in the RPG loop. So, except for that one trip that you made to Lake Geneva a few years ago, you haven't really got out and stuff, and so. I'm telling Gary he's got to get out more, so he's going to be at Long. I was at LongCon last year, and I went above and beyond the Call of Duty for those guys. I was on vacation in South Padre Island.
He flew from Corpus all the way.
No, not Corpus. Brownsville.
Oh, from Padre. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, golly.
I flew from Brownsville all the way to the airport, DFW. I got in a car with Zach Glazer. We drove to a Longview. Then when the con was over, we drove back, dumped the car off, and I jumped on a plane and headed back. So I ain't doing that this year. It was okay for 1 year, but look, I lost 5 Days in Paradise or whatever at the beach.
Right.
Those guys,
Well,
for Matt and Eddie. Come on, man.
Right. And Doug and I went the year before. So
right.
he and I went, then you went the next year. So I have been once. So
this year it's Gary's turn. I went last year, and like I said, it was I loved going, but it was a lot of logistics, and I'm old now. I'm a simple man. I don't want to have to do all the logistics again. So
he's an old man. God damn it.
And Lou, yes, I did play the Aliens RPG.
Yes, Ty was there too. Ty fed us, guys. Ty was there at Long Con last year too. So,
well, that's important.
No, right? Actually, we went to Ty's house and we absolutely destroyed his game room. And
I heard.
We didn't realize this till later, but apparently, Ty never cleaned it up, and it still looks awful. Have you cleaned that up yet, Ty? We took so we literally went to Ty's house, went to his game room, took all his games out, left them on the table, then left.
Because you guys are just that kind of guy.
We are assholes. We're absolute assholes.
Animals. By the way, since we're talking about conventions, I will be at Shatter Con on September 17th up in the Berkshire Mountains. Now, I mention that not just because I'm going to be there, but Tom Verholt, Tabletop Tap Room, who if you watch the channel, you probably watch Tom. Him and his wife Tammy will be there. If you watch this channel, Joe the Lawyer, Matt Jackson, yes, the not Dyson mapper, and none other than Bat in the Attic Rob Conley will be attending. Rob will be actually running 2 game sessions. So if you like your OSR, you're going to have a good representative of not just the OSR, but this channel. If you go to Shatter Con, it's a 1-day con, but I'm going up Friday night or Friday afternoon. I'm leaving Sunday. I've got myself a room for Rach and I because I'm gonna make it a weekend, and it's gonna be fun. And for folks that give a shit, Joe Block will also be there. I am going to be clearing out some of my board games. Joe already has dibs on my Kickstarter version of Ogre. But
son of a bitch.
Yeah, I will be doing a video and or a blog post to say what I plan on bringing, and if people listen, I'm not necessarily selling at a cost. I'm going to be Ogre's not going to be going cheap, but it's not going to be going at market value either. I need to clear out room, and I don't play these board games. They're good stuff, so why not?
But board games, that to me at this point in my life, are aspirational purchases, like they are for a lot of people. I also have the Ogre special Kickstarter giant box that is unopened. Now,
I opened mine. I put it together like a kid on Christmas fucking Day.
Doug got one, and so we both have one. I have one. Doug had one. We put together Doug's. We figure, hey, this is something cool to bring to the con. And if somebody wants to run Ogre, we have this cool put together version. Guess how many times we've been asked to bring Ogre up to the con to run it? 0. So these are aspirational purchases. I love people that play board games. More power to you. I respect you because I just can't find the people to do it with. And except for my grandkids, and they only like to play zombie board games, I just don't play board games anymore. So, the thing is, we have a board game library for North Texas. It's got some really good board games in it. It's just that we haven't brought it the last 3 years because nobody has said, could you bring up Lords of Waterdeep? I really want to play it. Or, whatever, Divine Ride or whatever. Nobody said that. And so, it's just another box to bring up until people start saying, we really love you to bring up these board games. It's just another giant box we have to bring up there. So we haven't brought it up.
Mike, I have a suggestion then. There is a game that can be run throughout the con as a bonus game. You need to get somebody to run Diplomacy, and so everybody can be fucking miserable.
So everybody can hate each other, so we can have fist fights.
Yes, exactly.
Fist fights Saturday night. Yeah,
just like college. With people like scheming in the bathroom, like next to each other in stalls, passing notes. That's what we want.
No, you'll have people who have been lifelong friends, and Gary and I will be pulling them apart in the hallway as they punch each other in the face, saying, "You son of a bitch, you betrayed me. Pressure betrayed me. You son of a bitch." And you'll have a fist fight.
I only played it once in college, and I swear to God, I think I lost 2 friends over that game. and it never even finished because people were not talking to each other after that. It was effing amazing.
Lou is right though. Zach brought Civilization. It was awesome, and we also had a preview of it up at North Texas a couple weeks before.
The preview was fun.
Oh,
I wish I could have played.
Great game.
I wish I could have played.
I would buy that game if it was less than $500 on eBay because that's how much.
Yeah, no.
It was
Thank you very much.
It's an amazing game, but you have to have at least 8 to 10 people to play it.
Yeah,
there's a ton of setup, and at this point, since the Kickstarter,
it was fun.
The Kickstarter game, it was, but it's $500, and I just can't pay that much for it. But it's a great game. We had a blast. I had a blast. The preview game. It looked like everybody that played it that Sunday morning had a blast too. It's one of those games that once again it'd be an aspirational purchase. Yeah. Gary and I would buy it, we'd stick it in the warehouse, and we'd never have 8 to 10 people to play it. It would just sit there. And plus, it's a long game too, right, Gary?
Oh my God, it was like we never came close to finishing.
It was like
we're declaring
we played for 6 hours.
Yeah,
and didn't finish for the demo.
No. Well, Gary, thank you.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna step away only because it's the witching hour, folks. Get your comments in. Go.
Here we go.
Bird or Twitter or mandate. I don't know. Just say something because we're gonna draw again. Oh wait,
I couldn't have.
This is
name.
I just drew again. I didn't realize it was that quick.
I couldn't have Ty's name be green and mine not be green, so I had to.
Climbing
that mountain.
You want $50?
You know how to reach out to me. You've got $50 coming to you. That means we still have 2 more to give away before this show is over. So reach out to me, climbing that mountain. You got money to spend over on drive-through.
So Robert Roberts says any cardboard counter war games at NTRPG.
If you want to bring it.
If you want to bring it, I might play. But somebody brought one time. Somebody brought a war game. It was the Civil War thing. They had all the terrain and everything. Remember that?
So this is a little bit of history about North Texas RPG Con. So when Doug and I thought this up, one thing that we were very adamant about is we were only going to have RPG games scheduled because there was too many cons at the time that were like, we're running games, but we're also running Magic, and we're running BattleTech, and we're running Warhammer, and so it was really weird. If you were around in kind of that weird period about 2005 to 2010 or so, I mean, literally, there were cons that didn't run any old school games, zero, none at all, and very few of them actually even ran RPGs that weren't D&D 3rd Edition or eventually Pathfinder. There just was nothing else run. And one of the things Doug and I wanted to make sure of is this is a RPG con. We don't really want you running Warhammer and BattleTech and board, Magic cards. We want you running RPGs. And so we stayed with that for quite a while. Then we kind of the rule morphed that, okay, if you are a special guest, you can run whatever you want because we're not going to tell, I don't know, Alan Hammock he can't run, well, actually, it was Steve Winter wanted to run Camelot. What's that Camelot board game TSR came out with? You know what I'm saying, Eric? I can't remember the name. He wanted to run,
I remember it, but I never.
Swords of Camelot. He wanted to run. He's like, why can't Steve Winter run Knights of Camelot? Knights of Camelot, the old board game by TSR that came out in the 70s. Yeah, if he wants to run Knights of Camelot, no problem. And then that also morphed into if you were an original member, if you came to our first con, you can, if you wanted to run a game, you can run whatever you want, which led to Mike Stewart running BattleTech because somebody else wanted to run BattleTech.
Well, but here's the other thing too on the BattleTech deal. In the 3rd convention, Doug said any Knight Valiant could run whatever they wanted. Special guests can run whatever they want. And in the 3rd convention, there was a guy that was active military, and Doug let active military guys run. And he wanted to run. Remember, that's the guy that brought that BattleTech terrain with every mountain.
Yep.
Yeah, and he let him run that because he was active military.
Right.
But that's exactly how I got into this BattleTech, because Mike Stewart ran it because Doc Ben wanted to run it. And so, Stewart would run it because Mike ran it because Ben wanted to play. And since he was a Knight Valiant, he could do that. And then after I played and had such much fun, I was like, I don't know, about the fourth, fifth
So
convention.
so what we did eventually too is we have what's called the pre-con get-on, which is Wednesday night. Wednesday night is not an official con night. However, you can play games if you want. Whatever game you want to bring, you can bring board games, card games, whatever. That was the day when you could do whatever you wanted to do. Was Wednesday. We had people bring board games. We had people bring card games. I remember Jim Ward one year ran Dragon Lairs. I mean, you could do whatever you like on Wednesday
Tim
night.
Kask ran what's the train
Ticket
game?
to Ride.
Ticket to Ride. Yeah.
So Wednesday night was kind of a free for all. You could do stuff. So we kind of worked it in there. But when Gary and I took over, we decided, you know what, we're not going to be as strict on that because at this point, I don't think the convention is going to be taken over by Magic cards or BattleTech or Warhammer, right? I mean, we pretty much decided this. Everybody understands this is an RPG convention. We play RPGs there. The occasional board game or war game is not going to hurt anything. And so we're definitely not as draconian as Doug was about saying you can't do RPGs, you can do other things. And like I said, I don't think we're worried about the convention being taken over by some other game. So if you want to come and play those kind of games, for years and years, I know Mike Stewart's been after me he wants to play Divine Right. I'd love to have a Divine Right session, but I would want to run it because the board. I have 5 copies of the game. I've got 3 originals and I've got 2 of the new ones. I would have to be there if the game was being run because I don't want people messing with my pieces, man. My game pieces.
Well, you say there's no fear of these of non-RPGs taking over, and I agree with you 100%. And I think as a general loose rule, we're going to kind of try to stick to the general theme of Night Valiants and special guests and so forth. He's making a joke about if you want to bribe the powers that be, you can run whenever you want. And I get that. But with BattleTech, I actually had several people ask if I'd run a third game. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't. I'm going to have trouble just being in one. But I mean, again, you're right. That's not going to take it over. People come to play D&D. That's what the convention is about. So. And
if Ty wanted to come and run Fistful of Toes, because we ran Fistful of Toes at Long Con, we had a blast. I mean, we don't want to tell them no and say, no, yeah, we know you wrote this game, but no, you can't run it at the con, Or if somebody had a great scenario. I mean, I remember when we first started running Aliens there. Remember the awesome setup that Alan Grohe had, the big giant rooms? We had to finagle that because Doug was like, well, it's not really a role-playing game. And so we had to say, well, it's kind of a role-playing game because you're pretending like you're Hicks, and forget that. We're not gonna play semantics. Just if you want to run a cool game, just let us know.
Well, and the way he got around that was once he found out that I liked it, he said staff members could run whatever they wanted. So then I said, okay, fine, we're gonna run Aliens. So.
But we're not like I said, we're not worried about semantics at this point. If you want to run something like that, let us know. We obviously just don't want to.
Thank you, Ty. Yes,
it does have RPG tie-ins because there is an RPG version of BattleTech also. Yes.
Yeah.
But we're not going to worry about it. I mean, this was a real fear when Doug and I came off this in 2009, because if you looked at conventions, so here's what happened with conventions. Magic was huge then, and so was Pathfinder. And Pathfinder had the Pathfinder Society, which is, what they would do is they'd go to conventions, you'd run these Pathfinder games, and they were all connected, and you got points and all that stuff. Well, they would go to a convention. They would take over a convention because they would say, look, we're going to give you all these Pathfinder prizes, but we want 12 tables where we can run Pathfinder games. Now, these guys are not going to mix with your other attendees. We just want a whole room where we can do our Pathfinder stuff. We don't care about your convention, basically. I mean, they wouldn't really say that, but that's what it boiled down to is these guys all they're going to do is run Pathfinder games. And we had the Pathfinder Society come to North Texas, and they asked us, and Doug and I turned them down because it became very obvious that they weren't interested in mingling with our convention. They just wanted to have their own convention within a convention. Magic is the same way. Magic, they say, look, can we have a Magic tournament at your convention? I don't really want that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. we're going to donate all these booster boxes that are worth several $1,000s to your convention. You can auction them off and make a lot of money for your con, because most cons are really, they want to, they want to make money. Now can we have a Magic tournament? Well, sure. We'll give this room over here, and you can play Magic cards in that tournament all the time. Once again, they don't mix with the other parts of the convention. They come just to play hardcore Magic cards. We didn't want that either. And so that's the two of the things that we just kind of said, no, we don't want these societies coming in and taking over stuff. We don't want Magic cards taking over. And that was a real, nowadays with 5th edition, it's not as bad a fear. 5th edition is huge now. People come to play 5th edition. That's great, because that's D&D as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and the younger attendee guys like David's crew and Ben Barsh's crew, those kids that age, I could say kids, they're young people, younger people. I mean, they're running 5e games. I mean, they love it. So and that was, and Gary remembers this a little bit too. I mean, it was kind of before Gary got really involved in the con, but that was a real fear back then, because that's what conventions were. Because I remember when we were first researching have a convention, I looked for every convention I could find with an old school track. And I told the story before. There was one convention, that was Total Con. Total Con had Frank Mentzer running games, first edition games. There was not one other convention in the United States I could find that had an old school track. Now, of course, Gen Con, but Gen Con's that's a different creature. But nobody had that, because that was before Gary Con, that was before Gamehole Con, all these other cons that popped up later. Nobody had had an old school track. They just didn't. You could, if you wanted to play first edition AD&D, there was literally no convention you go to and do that unless you went to Total Con. Because I believe me, I searched online I went to every convention, and I would look at what they had scheduled, and it was all third edition. That's all it was. There was nothing resembling old school games. So that was the real fear we had, is that people were going to want to come to our con and play these games just like every other con. And we didn't want to be like every other con. We wanted to do something different, which is say, look, we are dedicated to old school gaming, and this is what we want. We want RPGs, old school RPGs. Well, and so I said from the beginning, after Doug got sick and after he passed, I said the one thing I want to try to make sure to do is, and Mike and I talked about this a lot. I mean, it's just weird. I don't know. It's a weird fine threshold line we have to kind of be careful of, because I have kind of built this ground that says I want to keep it as close to what Doug wanted it to be as possible, with some of the Dougisms taken out, and but like giving the special guest $100 bill, that's going to stay, because that's just he wanted it that way, and we're going to do that. And it's not hard to do. Some of the other weird stuff we're maybe not going to be so strict about or whatever. But I have really been kind of the purist about, let's try to keep this through. But Mike, one of the things that we've talked about is we have pretty good open communication, and a lot of times on administration things, if I can lead him down the path to seeing what I'm trying to say, he'll say, oh, that makes sense. The same thing happens the other way. He'll say, yeah, Gary, but let's do this, that, and then I'll say, you're right, let's just do it that way. So we want to keep it, I don't want it to change too terribly much. I just want it to be easier. And I want people, if you're going to spend money to go spend a weekend doing something, you should have fun. And that's the end of it. I want everybody to have fun.
We do, yeah.
And it's not lost on me that Bob G called it Bottle Tech. I got that. I see you.
Very much so. Very much so. But no, that's what we want to keep the con, as Ty said, we want to keep the con's personality, because there's a lot of cons that do the same damn thing. And they really do. And that's one of the really sad things about these, what I call now entertainment cons, because you have like Dragon Con and now you have Gen Con, you have San Diego Comic Con. San Diego Comic Con is not about comics anymore. It's about having all these Hollywood guys come up and pimp their movie. Gen Con is not about D&D or role-playing games anymore. It's about cosplay and basically people vending stuff. I don't even know what Dragon Con was ever about to begin with. I think it was sci-fi. It's not about that anymore. These are entertainment cons now. They're just about all these people going and being seen there, wearing cosplay and whatever. And so we wanted our con to be, and you have tons of cons where you can go to, and there's Magic tournaments, and there's a Warhammer tournament. Everybody does that. Everybody does that. What can we do to be different? What is the thing that we can do to make space? One of the things is we have like 30 special guests every year. People are like, why do you have so many special guests? I mean, God, must cost you all that money, and you got this, that. That is part of the personality of the con, is the fact that you can go to the con. There's no VIP badges. There's no VIG badges. Gary and I have talked about that. There never will be.
Nope.
As far as, until we get kicked out when we're 85 years old, dragged out of the building, there will not be VIG or VIP or platinum, diamond, whatever.
Nope.
We want you to be able to go in and you're hanging out. And if you're hanging out there, Errol Otis is over here and Steve Winter's here, and you're
everybody's equal.
Yep.
And and then
kind of along those same lines of Mike is saying, well, San Diego Comic-Con is not really about comics anymore. The other thing is too, then that goes into that whole discussion about, do you have celebrities at your convention? So one of the things that's kind of in the works is we have one of our con attendee people that happens to know a few Dallas Cowboy players, and last year one of them actually came to convention, walked around, whatever. There is talk, and they're working internally on this, whatever, to come and run a Dallas Cowboys charity game at the convention. It's not set yet. It's not whatever. But Mike and I talked about this, and the only way that's going to happen, these guys actually are D&D freaks. They really like the game. And I mean, I gave the kid, he was huge, but I found a t-shirt to fit him. And
real quick and say something. This was not Zeke or anybody. This was
no.
This was the 7th round pick of the Cowboys. So this is the last guy they picked.
It's a secondary player. He's because they rotate. They rotate their defenses in and out. So he plays. But
the 7th round guy you've never heard of. I guarantee
you've never heard of. But
I
again,
barely heard of him. I had to look him up. Going,
yeah,
who was that? Oh,
yeah. Okay, and I'm not saying it wasn't like Dak Prescott or anything. But I'm just saying. But we talked about this, and we don't necessarily want somebody like Dak Prescott. We want if they're gamers. Right. And here's the other thing too. I came to find out something interesting about the organization. Much like CPAs who have to get CPE credit and go take classes to get credit to maintain their CPA status. When you sign a contract with the Dallas Cowboys, you have so many what they call community service hours that you have to perform. If they came to our convention, the Dallas Cowboys would let us use their logo to sponsor their game, and they could we could pick a charity and they could play in it, but they would earn their service hours for doing that. And so the guy was all over. He's like, oh man, I can play games and earn sign me up. So, and so it's being talked about, but we actually had a conversation about that. Is that something we want to even go down?
Now that leads into something else. And so Gary and I talked this. This is why we wouldn't have a Satine and Jameson at our con, because that clown show blew up bad. But we would have never had them there at our con. And we had some people that talked about, well, maybe you should have this person or that person. And we kind of looked at it and talked about it and said, what are they doing for us? I mean, I just didn't seem like it's just not a good fit. It just wasn't a good fit with us. We're just not that kind of a con that they could just afford to have. I guess you call them just the celebrities, right? I mean, and don't get me wrong. If Joe Manganiello called me tomorrow and wanted to come to the con, he's absolutely welcome to come to the con. I mean,
but he's awesome. Okay. But my understanding, and you're right. Mike is right. I'm not in the circles of all this, but my understanding is he's like a real gamer. Though.
He's a real gamer.
I've seen the interviews that he's done. He is into this. I mean, that's his thing.
If he wanted to come, so that's great, but we're not going to necessarily seek out those people just so we can say, oh, we had Deborah Wall at our con, or we had this or that. They would have to want to come to our con and ask to come, and we'd make it perfectly clear. Look, this is a 500-person con. We don't have VIPs. We don't have VIGs. You're going to be treated just like everybody else. You're going to be just hanging out and just doing the thing, con with everybody. We're not doing anything special for you. And that's one of the things that, like I said, that's in the DNA of the con. Doug and I had always said that. Gary agrees with that completely. We're not 100%. Treating people any different. We don't have tiers. We don't have tiers of people in there. And we've had a lot of people suggest it over the years because you can make a lot of money doing that. I hate to. I don't want to throw Gary Con. I'm not throwing Gary Con on the bus. I'm just saying they do. They have like a platinum level. It's what $500 a person, and you get a swag bag. You get cool stuff. You get really nice stuff. We just can't afford to do that. I mean, I don't even know what we give people to. What we give people to be worth $500. I don't know.
Do you really want to stratify your community by doing
No.
That to me, listen, I've got I am not part of the North Texas crew, but I certainly have one foot solidly in North Texas. I still remember my first North Texas. I actually met a former Dallas football player who played for Dallas for 2 years. I didn't recognize his name, but then became an FBI agent. Showed me his tin because I was still a cop at the time. And he's like, "Oh, I read your blog. I heard about North Texas because of you. I still have a house out. I think it's like north of Denton or something like that." And he was like, I was like, and he was built like a football player too. I don't know how the FBI ever picked him up because he would have walked through walls. But I mean, that's what North Texas. You guys tracked. You tracked everybody and everything because it's community first. Other people have mentioned that in the chat tonight. That North Texas sounds like a convention that's a community. And I've so the question: why is North Texas Tenkar's favorite convention? Because the first convention I went to after Gen Con back in I guess '94 was North Texas. God knows how many years ago. And honestly, I went with the idea that Rach thought she was going to do nothing at the convention, but maybe playing 1 or 2 games. And Mike, you overheard Rach on Friday night saying, "We're coming back next year." She wasn't even a gamer. She was hooked. She was like, "Oh my God," because it wasn't just the games; it was the people. It's the community, and that's something that you don't.
Number one thing
she played Tim Snyder's game. Remember that, and she loved that. And
she loved that.
Awesome.
And Zach,
yeah,
and oh God, a few others. But the idea was, and of course, Matt playing in what is it, the Mythos Tower.
Yep.
Doug Kovacs. But she was like the people. The people are listen. Gary Con is an amazing convention. It is a bucket list. You will never have any reason to be bored at Gary Con. Okay? But you're not going to make that connection with people at Gary Con that you make at North Texas. I come back and I see people that I only see once a year, and I've been seeing it every North Texas. And it's like they don't follow my blog, but they remember me. I remember them. And it's a handshake. It's a bro hug or whatever. And it's a catch-up time. And you don't get that at other places. That's why North Texas is my home away from home. I really believe that. And it hurt me to miss it in 2020.
And that, Eric, is why my favorite comment that people make about North Texas is it's like a family reunion.
It is.
And that's what you just described. It's your catch up every year. And it's kind of when you're when you're checking people in and whatever, and I got to stop and hug everybody because it's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And so, I mean, it's just that's it. It's a family reunion. That's my favorite.
Well, and one of the things that could also connect with the con is when Doug and I talked about this a long time ago, and we decided that we were going to cap the con at 400 people. Now, of course, it's 500 now, but one of the reasons is because, and I've talked about this many times about how cons make money. If you have a con, you really don't start making money to get about 1,000 people, and it's just math. Okay, say you charge $80 to get in, and you have 1,000 people. That's $80,000. That will pay for your room, your guests, whatever. Plus, you'll make some money. Now, if you go down to 500, you're more iffy, right? But that 500 was a number because Doug did not want to hire staff. And if you look at the con, you go there now, it's all friends and family. The staff is volunteers. It's Zach Glazer and his wife Jen. It's my brother. It's our grandkids and our kids. It's David and David's friends. It's
Brian Stanley.
Brian Stanley. I mean, it's all these guys. It's family run the con, and that is one thing Doug was very. And I argued with Doug about that a lot. I said, "Why don't we hire some people?" No, he did not want to do that. We're not going to hire people. We have Chris does I mean, Chris comes in
Fuller.
with his son. He does all the cards for the tables.
Mhm.
I mean, just people like that over the years, Doug said, you're doing this. He said that to Zach one day. He said, you're a volunteer now. And Zach's like, okay, you're doing this now.
You're voluntold.
Yeah, you're voluntold. but that's what it is. If we had more than 500 people, we'd have to start hiring people that we don't know. And we don't know these people. We know everybody there. The girls that work there, they're like our sisters now, Jessica and Jamie and all of them. I mean, they're Olivia before that. They were all people we know.
And they manage themselves.
Yes.
It takes so little for me to manage that piece of it because I can delegate it and they handle it. And so, I mean, there's just
and they love what they do because they love dealing with the people at the convention. It's extended family, like you've been saying. Tim's comment is awesome, by the way. It is only through conversations I've had, Ben Mike's Passion, and now Gary, that Tammy and Tom were sold in North Texas RPG Con. I mean, there are other people from my Friday from the Friday show. They're going to be going to North Texas for the first time.
We've only come close to our 500 2 years, 2018, 2019. We're right around 500. So we've never had to cut it off and say you can't come to the con. But one of the reasons we had 500 also is because the venues we have. That's tonight's taco dinner coming back.
There you go. Hey, we broke. Hey, just so we're clear,
good thing you fixed that toilet, Mike.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
Go check that out. Yeah, no, but we came up close, and then Doug and I actually talked about it those years, going, what if we get to 500? But we always had people don't show up, so it's been pretty close, but not that bad.
No, we have walk-ups too. So
yeah, we have walk-ups. We've done pretty good on walk-ups the last few years. If it ever gets to that point, we'll talk about it. I don't. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a problem anytime soon, but obviously you never know. But
Mike, just to so you know, in 2017 we had 380, 2018 was 385, 2019 was 402. We had 393 this year, so we were really close to getting to 400.
Right close to 400. So we haven't come up to see the year. So
real close.
2018, 2019. Does that include walk-ups? Because I remember Doug saying we were close to 5. Oh, I know what happened. One of those years we had weather and we lost about 60 people.
Yeah, 18 was 385. The best was 402 and 19. And yes, it does count. I capture everything.
Okay. I think there was one year where we had a lot of people cancel. It actually worked out to our advantage because
this year we had a lot of people cancel, or not cancel, but get pushed because of weather on Friday.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. We had some. Oh, yeah, that was terrible weather for some. We had
Thursday.
Rocky never made it. Yeah.
Yeah. Rocky didn't make it. There's a bunch of people that got that. I remember Jeff Delaney they flew into San Antonio and he and his buddy drove up, which is awesome.
Chris Fuller drove from Houston.
Oh, I know he didn't drive from Houston. Gary, he got the bus.
Oh, that's right. He took a bus. That's right.
He took a bus.
He took a bus.
So yeah, it was crazy. We had crazy weather that day. Was terrible. But that's part of the intimacy is that you're only talking about 500 or less people, and that makes it very intimate. And you see the same people in your games. You go down to breakfast every day; it's the same people. If you go out to dinner, it's the same people. And I always said it's like going to Gary Con. Get your 500 favorite people from Gary Con, and then that's who comes to North Texas. It's all the people that you want to hang out with.
I love that.
And then that's what it is. It really is. It's the people that, every year they come. And it's the same kind of, like you said, family reunion. You all come there. It's the same. Now we get new people. And what's cool is like we'll have, so 2 years ago, Jim Kitchen came. And for those who don't know, Jim Kitchen, a professional auctioneer. He's done the Gary Con auction for years. He does the Gen Con auction for years, along with Bill Meinhardt. He had never come to our con, and I run into him a bunch at cons and talked to him, whatever. So he finally came 2 years ago, and he was there like literally a day. And he walks up to Gary and I and said, like, I'm in. Like, what do you mean I'm in? I'm in. Whatever you guys need or want to do, whatever. This is the best con ever. I'm totally in, which worked out great because I got sick that and couldn't do the auction on Saturday.
Food poisoning. Yeah.
And that was the one thing. That was the one thing that I told Mike I am not going to be involved in because I'm not comfortable. And then he calls me and says, I'm sick. And he goes, you need to find Jim Kitchen. And I'm at the registration booth. And I go, and I'm talking to him on the phone. I go, I don't even know what Jim Kitchen looks like. And literally, I'm not kidding. 5 feet away, he turns around and goes, that's me. And I said, oh God, you're my new best friend. Okay. So,
But that's just the kind of cool. So people that come for the first time, they buy in and they're like, this is the greatest thing ever. I love this thing. I'm coming now forever. And it's just so cool how that happened.
do you know who our number one registered person was this year for 2023?
No, I do not.
Jim Kitchen.
It was. It was Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
All right,
awesome.
quick timeout.
We're giving more money away.
Giving more money away. $50 drive-through RPG gift certificate.
All right, another $50.
50.
Lucky 50. It's not quite the Powerball, but it's close.
It's close.
Paul Catron. Paul, email me 10cars.tavern@gmail.com or hit me up on Facebook, whatever.
Paul, tell your family to suck it. You just won $50.
You just won $50.
It's a turn off the Vidcast at the dinner table. Tell me you just won $50. Yeah. You're not turning anything off. Tell me you're not turning anything off. My favorite meme, by the way, the Powerball got to like $1 billion. My favorite meme was the true winner of the Powerball was the IRS. Because did you see that?
Yeah,
they ended up getting $800 million.
That's not quite right because if you took the cash value, which a person did, they were actually only getting like 840.
I know, but it's funny though because
it was a funny meme, but it was inaccurate numbers. But
yeah, well, it's inaccurate math, but the theory still plays out. It was Matt Gullett that I saw posted that, and I'm like, yes, exactly.
So in this case, the IRS has no part of it. You're getting $50. Okay?
There you go, baby.
It's a gift.
The IRS is not taking it. Don't declare it. Tell the IRS to suck it. Oh, God, I'm on the radar now. Shit.
Yeah,
you can't say those three
So just
letters.
So we're clear, North Texas RPG Con does not condone or advise you to not pay or declare $50 gift cards for your income. This is a public service announcement.
You only have
stop
to
talking, Mike. You're going to get us in trouble.
And this is a gift, and it's only a gift, and gifts don't have to be declared.
Yeah, that's right. Under a certain amount.
I think it's 10,000.
We're just giving away stuff. We just like to give away things. Okay.
So I enjoy giving away stuff because
I just like to stay legal. Okay, can we just do that, please?
David's from the UK. David, it's about half whatever the winnings are. It ends up being about half. So if you take, say you won $100 million and you take the cash option, you end up getting about $50 million in about half.
Because it's a present valued amount based on an interest rate standard. So, yeah.
He's an accounting nerd, folks. He knows all this stuff. So, no, yes.
Oh, my God. I have a degree in accounting and a degree in finance. That's my background. I'm sorry.
It's just funny, but it's funny that, yes, that we have to calculate that. Hey, I won $100 million. Oh, wait, I actually won just $50 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, did you think there's a lump sum? Yes. All right. Well, actually, it's only $65.2 million. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, the tax man comes. All right, so you're down to like.
By the way, can I get this out of the way? I'm gonna complain about something that just drives me insane. I'm gonna complain about the people that only play the lottery when it gets to $1 billion. Hey, dumbass! Like if you won $10 million, you wouldn't be happy. No, you're only going to be happy if you win $430 million. What are you good? You don't even know what to fucking do with all that money. You would have no clue. Play the one. If you want to win, actually try to win, which you're not going to win anyway. Play the lotto when it's like $1 million because nobody's buying tickets in. There's no. You don't want to win. You don't want to win $1 billion. You don't. You know what your life would be like after you won $1 billion. I don't care if you hid your identity. They're going to find out who you are, and you're going to have every relative you didn't know you had camped out in your front lawn, along with everybody else that you don't want to know about. And you're going to have to go move somewhere and live in a gated community with armed guards the rest of your life. Don't play the people that, I only play it when it gets to be $1 billion. What the hell? You don't know what to do with 10 million? That's not enough.
Life advice from Michael Battleotto.
There you go.
I don't get it. I'm sorry.
Tammy, to your comment, the hotel rooms. Somebody said that they were able to use the link, but the reality is the link is not supposed to be valid yet because I haven't fully negotiated the rate. But if they're honoring it, hallelujah. But the reality is I hope to have all of that finalized within the next 5 to 10 days, business days. So I've got to talk to the hotel lady, but that's my goal. I will post on Facebook as soon as I know 100% for sure. The rate last year was 112. I'm sure it'll stay close to that. With inflation, I go to 115 or something like that. That's still cheaper than their 175 normal rate or whatever it is. So,
and it's a remodeled hotel. They've done all the remodels over COVID. New elevators, new restaurants, new
air conditioners.
Yes, it's really nice.
When the link goes live, I will share it at the blog, and I will share it on one of the videos here. I'll put it as a comment. I'll let you know to look for it. Because trust me, I'll be registering my room too. So
yeah, I some of this stuff I'm going to give you a little inside baseball on this too. So the reason I don't have some of the stuff for the 2023 con up and running like a week after this con is I have a job and I have work to do and stuff like. Yeah, I drink a lot too, but and so I was very busy in the month of July, but also I don't control some of the outside forces. So for example, with the hotel, the lady that does the banquets was on vacation and so they're still. I mean, now they have already blocked the dates, so we have the dates. That's already handled, but I'm still waiting for like official paperwork with the contract rules on it. So I hope to get that very soon. But we will get it up as soon as it's up. I don't have full control over some of it, but some of it is on me that, just I was busy with other stuff in July.
Well, the cool thing is this year and last year is this year they finally have the hotel's convention staff back because when COVID hit 2020, they let them all go. And we had a lot of issues 2020, 2021 because the manager was trying to do convention staff too, and it was
not working well.
And this year they're back, and they were wonderful this year. They were so nice and so grateful to be back, and they were so helpful. I mean, it was just
were fully bought in.
Yep.
They evidently some staff members did some research on D&D. There were dice glued to the check-in desk to get registration. They had like this punch buffet with these potions that they had made up. That were Kool-Aid
so cool.
Yes. I mean, they really bought in. And I found out too, because I talked to the manager and the banquet lady, and we were talking. They bought in because yes, it was a contract year, but also they say they love. They were dividing out which conventions that people were going to be in charge of, and the lady pulled ours right off the pile and said, "I get this one," because because they love us. They love the group of people. Circling back to Eric's comment about the family and all the personalities, they love the group, and so they like us being there. I think the fact that we run up huge bar bills also is very good for they love that. But the reality is the comment I got was, generally speaking, your people are so fun and they're so easy to deal with and they're so understanding and so nice, and so I like that. That's cool. That's and so Carl came into existence because the person that won Carl at the midnight auction left him, which brings up another point. I want to segue here. Next year for 2023 at the midnight auction, if you win something, you have to take it home with you. The whole point of the midnight auction is we don't want to deal with this.
Want it. We were trying to get rid of this shit.
So
take it home.
So Carl,
stop leaving it.
He got left in a common area, so we didn't catch it when we were picking up. We didn't. He was down that hallway in a chair,
so
and
somebody put Carl. They put Carl Hiles.
name badge on him.
Name tag badge on him. So Carl, and he was decorated all the day Sunday. People kept putting hats on him and stuff on him as we would walk through this common area.
But I didn't know. We didn't know that he was still there. So anyway, the hotel picks him up. They put a tie on him. I mean, they put a stud muffin thing on him and all this. But she calls me and she says, "You need to come pick up Carl." She texts me. I'm like, "Oh, who's Carl?" And she texted me this picture. I'm like, "Oh my god." Well, my wife saw it, and my wife is all bought in on Carl. So Carl is in her car about 90% of the time. He goes everywhere with us. He goes to get pizza. We took him to Buc-ee's. I mean, Carl has a life of his own now. Somebody posted on Facebook. Somebody said something about Carl. He goes, "Yeah, you can be quiet. This is all about Carl now, not you." And so,
he's now the con. He's kind of the con mascot now.
But my point is, that was the hotel that did that. They were all bought in, and I mean, when I picked him up, he had a hard hat on. I'm like, what the hell? So anyway, so they love having us there. So I will confirm the rates and we'll get.
By the way, best midnight auction ever, because Gary worked out where they had an actual auction area, raised area, and they set up. It was so cool. They did
I asked her if she could do that. She goes, "Oh yeah, no problem."
It was great. It was great. And I had a friend who brought a sound system, and that was the best midnight auction ever in terms of people being able to hear me and people being able to see me because I was up above everybody. There was like a raised area. Now I was so afraid I was going to fall down and kill myself, but I didn't. But yeah, that was great the way it was set up this year, and that was wonderful.
The only thing I didn't like about the midnight auction was your last speech. It was very embarrassing. It was not nice of you to do that.
It was awesome.
Calm down.
Calm down, Gary. We love you, so fuck yourself.
Wow. Welcome to our show, and fuck yourself.
Because the first one of my top drop tonight. It was well overdue. Got to make sure we reach our quotient.
One of my top 10 moments of any North Texas ever. This is year 14. This is the midnight auction. One of my top 10 moments ever. We have a thing set up, basically a place where I get dressed and put my devil costume on or whatever. So I'm sitting back there, and I've got my devil horns and my cloak, whatever. Kurt Gould walks in a crab outfit. And we both look at each other, and we start laughing so hard that we can't breathe because we both look so stupid. And as we're sitting there laughing at each other, my brother walks in with a Speedo. And so we're all three sitting back there, and we cannot breathe. We're laughing so hard. Robert's got a Speedo and a cigar. I've got a devil outfit on, and Kurt Gould's got a crab on. Now, these are three grown men.
Yes, wow. I've seen the photo.
One of them works for WotC. I mean, these are three grown men, and we look like idiots.
So I've seen the photo of this, and it's like backstage at Disney. Okay, it's like this, you know, and I mean, it's hilarious.
God. And it was just so. I mean, it's just so hilarious. It can only happen.
I think Texas. Mike had a drink in his hand too. It was hilarious.
Probably.
Robert had a cigar, and it was funny.
Yeah, I have that picture too. That picture needs to get more play because it was hilarious.
God, it was funny.
And so yeah, that was one of my top. I love the midnight auction, and we have a great time with it. But that was one of my top 10 moments ever at the con, not just midnight auction, but ever, because it was so ludicrous and ridiculous, and it kind of embodied the entire con. How we do not take ourselves seriously one bit. We do not take ourselves seriously.
You and I have I have different top 10 moments from midnight auction.
Oh man!
My top 10 moment was coming up with a new system for tracking the auction sales, so that instead of spending 2 hours reconciling money at the end, it took me 12 minutes.
Now that was great. That worked out really good for you.
So we have very different top 10.
Top 10. Yours is making sure that the counting.
Well, that I didn't have to be there for 2 hours afterwards.
Yeah, we didn't always do things the best way we should have done them. I will admit that is true. We didn't always do things the best way. No, definitely. So that was. Oh, here. Oh, hold on. I have the picture. I'm going to send it to Eric. And Eric, can you post this?
Oh, this is hilarious. I mean, it really is. It's like I'm not kidding. It's like a backstage scene of like a movie or Disney or something, like where the characters are, on their break or something, drinking whiskey.
A very disturbing movie.
Yes, but still, it's hilarious.
You don't want to show your kids this movie because they might wake up with nightmares later. So yeah, this is definitely not. So I'm going to send this picture to Eric, and then he can do with it
via Facebook. So I closed
it has to be
Facebook. I closed it out only because it would be going bing, bing, bing throughout the damn session. So I was like, I'll just close it for now. But it's open. I'm waiting for you, Mike. I'm waiting for you to send it.
I'm sending it. Here it is. I sent it.
I got my notification on my watch.
So Kurt's right. If one of the hotel staff had walked by while y'all were in that state, he's right.
I think a Mexican guy did walk by and he made the sign of the cross and ran off very quickly.
All right, hold on.
He probably told his wife about the crazy white people that were at the con that were all dressed up ridiculously.
I gotta. Hold on, I got let.
And I'm gonna tell you another little funny story about the convention. So, the lady who is our primary contact at the hotel, she's all in, whatever. Well, she wanted a shirt, and we had extras. If you remember, I had some runovers. I asked her what size, and I happen to have one. I gave it to her. You'd have thought I gave her a gold brick.
Wow.
I mean, she went on and on and on.
It's a beautiful shirt. Last year's shirt was really wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show. We got some shirts in the back.
I'm gonna wait till Mike gets back.
I'm wearing it
before I show this. My single-minded. Come on, you gotta give him a chance.
He just walked away. I mean, he just
he's gonna probably He's gonna probably make sure the bathroom works while he's out there.
Oh, that's true too. It's just right on the other side of that wall.
Oh, he's got the shirt on. Okay, well, Gary's got the shirt on. No, so that So
okay.
it's a wonderful logo.
Just
James
so you know, Mike, Kurt is here. Ready
James
to
did a wonderful job on the logo.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh Lord. Yeah, there you go. You are drinking something. That's what I said.
That looks like a scene from a bad Marvel Comics movie.
I'm telling you, it's like backstage at Disney or something. It's just bad.
Yeah, Kurt and I were looking at each other and we started laughing and we couldn't. Have you ever heard that saying where something you can't stop laughing? And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't breathe anymore. I can't stop laughing, Kurt. He's like, I can't either. And we're just like on the ground and we can't stop laughing. And then Rart walks in like, hey, what's up? And we're just like, oh my God. And that like sent us into another. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And that's the kind of fun we have at the con. Like I said, we don't take ourselves seriously.
I can't unsee that. He said that's awesome.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Literally, what the F? Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, if you talk about Yes, My Eyes, you missed Robert's on stage acting out this time because let's just say that we auctioned off a game that was missing a piece. And let's just say where that missing piece turned up.
Okay, that was bad taste all the way around.
Wow. So yeah, it went from bad to worse. But that's what the midnight auction's about, man. You go to the midnight auction, you get what you get. I mean, I'm not going to apologize.
I have another funny midnight auction story. So I'm up there working on the laptop, taking these bids. So as the bids come across, the girls, Jen and the Jens hold up the numbers. I'm tacking the numbers and I'm tracking the amounts. And my phone starts going off. And I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, what the heck? And it's Matt and Jen both are texting. Jamie, they're texting pictures of Sheriff Kelly sleeping in row 2. And he's leaned over. He's a big man, and he's leaned over on somebody else. Oh, John Lyle, and John has this look on his face like, I paid to be here. and I'm like trying not to laugh and keep track of what I do at the same time. I'm like, stop sending me this stuff.
Oh yeah, we we have fun. Midnight Auction's great. I mean, we have fun the whole time, believe, but the Midnight Auction is special. Hey, Greg's here. Mr.
Hey,
Gillespie's here. How you doing, bro? The other Howard bro, me and Jeff and Greg. So, I have pictures. I have pictures of all three of us at the Howard house, which is awesome. So no, yeah. So we have fun there. I mean, the Midnight Auction, but we do a lot of fun things. I mean, it's not just all about RPGs too. We also have the chariot racing is great. Robert does a great job running that, and the
Gladiator's fun too.
We have kick-ass trophies. These are not like a little tin thing.
Nope, they are diesel. They're made by Diesel. Yeah, there you go. Go get one. Diesel, he sculpts these and makes these for us, and they are not cheap, and they are awesome. They're worth every penny we pay for them. They're beautiful, and they're super cool.
Yeah, he does a great job.
And he just walked off again. I guess he's going to get one.
I guess he's going to get one. I don't know. Should we do the last giveaway before he gets back?
Sure.
It's like, God only knows. It's like, not in this warehouse. The next warehouse I got to go
I thought you're not supposed to get up.
Well,
so here's the Gladiator.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is ridiculous.
It's
Look
awesome.
at this thing.
Oh, By
the way, this is the one Doug won. This is Doug's actual.
Yeah.
We have a little memorial to Doug that we set up because Doug won the chariot race one year. He did win the gladiator race, so we have a memorial that's set up behind the.
Doug won all 3 spots in the chariot race.
Yes.
So he has the full
So,
diorama.
We have his trophy there along with everybody else that won, and then we have his chariot racing trophy there along with everybody else that won too. So.
And I will continue. For people that care, I will continue to order a shirt for Doug every year.
Yes.
I
have the shirt right over here on the thing.
And Greg, that is Carl in the background.
It's Talos before Talos was known for the movies. By the way, we're going to do our last and final giveaway in a few moments. So, God damn this camera. Zoom in on me again, damn it. Don't make me all blurry.
But by the way, if anybody here is interested, we have extra shirts available. How much are these, Gary? $30, $35?
$35.
$35. We have the only thing we don't have are 3X. We have large.
We have several 2X.
2X.
Gamer small, gamer large.
We have 2X. We have X. We have large, XL, 2X. I think we have some mediums too. But if you're interested in buying a shirt from last year, we do have some other stuff. It has this really great logo by James Shields on there. It's just amazing logo. They're really good shirts, very high quality, nice shirts. So if you're interested, contact me afterwards and we'll work out something. But they're $35 a piece, and the money all goes to the con. It all goes to help out the con. So we probably got a dozen shirts left.
You might as well ship those mediums to Mike Stewart because I don't think anybody else can wear them.
James
I don't
Shields.
think Gary understood that.
Well, there's several people that can wear them. It's actually pathetic, but but I want to.
Do they come to our con? I don't know.
Yeah, they do. There's a couple of really skinny minis that come. But anyway, I want to say this because I can't say it enough. James Shields. He did a fantastic job with the shirt. I love the logo, and it's awesome. I just want to thank you, James.
Cuthbert, these are they do shrink a little bit. They're 100% cotton, ultra cotton. They're very comfortable, but I usually try to. Now Gary only got me a 3X, which is a mistake. Gary, I need a 4X because they shrink a little bit and they shrink down.
They do a little.
Riding my belly down. So,
but these are good quality shirts, aren't they?
Very quality. Oh, great quality. Very good.
I got a new vendor this year. The guy was easy to work with. The overruns that he had, he gave to me.
Really?
As part of, he charged me the cost of the shirt.
Oh, well, then that's nothing then.
So
that's easy. All right, we're gonna do our last giveaway, folks. So if you haven't chatted, chat. I'm gonna give you a countdown of 15 seconds. 14, 13. Mike, where are you touching that statue? 12, 11.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh my God! Don't even. No sounds from Michael. No sounds from Michael. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. collecting names.
Is this the last one?
That's the last draw
Oh, okay.
for the last 50 of Drive-Thru RPG.
This is 50,
All right.
52? 50 also?
50 also.
50 also.
Why didn't we just do? Wait, we did the big money one first, and we're doing
We
the
did the big money one first.
Paul one again. Is this allowed or not?
See,
we
this is
have-
why you leave your video on during dinner.
Paul, remind me via whatever email, whatever. That you actually got twice.
Wow.
That's true. He won the lotto, so he won the second prize. First
He
prize
did.
was 150. I guess second prize was 100, and we give away 50. I mean, again,
Wow.
this is your money, folks. This is the money that I raised from using the Drive-Thru RPG affiliate links. This is your money. It's going back to where it came from, just as a lump sum. Come on,
This is appreciation because the reason we do this, we're at 1,500 subscribers, and this is not just me and Eric. This is Glenn. This is the boneheads that show up Friday night.
Yep.
This is Rachel doing the show with Eric on Saturday. This is
Well,
everybody. This isn't just one person doing this.
So we really do appreciate it. We do it because we enjoy it. We have fun. I hope you have fun. Like I said before, it's the live stream. This only went live like 2 or 3 days ago. If you want to join, support the tavern. It's $1.99 a month. What do you get? You get a green color when you chat, like Paul does. Thank you, Paul. But and you get some emojis. Once I figure out how to tell you guys how you can use your emojis, I think I have to tell you. But we got some liquor-related, bar-related emojis lined up because I found some.
We don't get paid. Nobody gets paid. I don't get paid. Eric doesn't get paid. None of the random party guys get paid Friday. Glenn doesn't get paid. This is all. We've been doing this almost 2 years now. Eric and I. We have not missed a week, which is amazing. Considering where we were in 2020, we have not missed a week yet, and we do this just because we love talking to you guys.
Yep.
We love talking about just all the fun stuff going on in the hobby. We love shows like this where we get to talk, just have fun and talk about cons, and we don't have to talk about idiots who will show up.
Paul wants me to run it again, so the community deserves it.
Okay, he's going to toss back his other 50. Okay,
all right,
we'll do that.
Okay.
Paul, thank you. Thank you.
That's cool.
Very generous.
It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games until some millionaire like Ty Beard wins it. Then it's like not fun anymore because.
Hey, Mike, you know what we ought to do? We ought to have like a thing on our deal for North Texas, like
Dandelion Games. This might actually give you back some money that you spent on the.
There you go. Oh, Lou won. All right, there you go.
Lou. Email me tencar.tavern@gmail.com or hit me on Facebook. We're probably on Facebook too. So thank you, Paul. That was very generous of you. Lou, congratulations. Don't spend it on your own stuff on drive-thru, by the way. Spend it on other people's stuff.
I hope he's not doing that. That would not make any sense, but yes, but we don't get paid to do this. We just love doing it. And Eric and I have done this under every condition. We've both been on vacation. We've both been out of town on conventions. We both.
I've had COVID.
I did it at Game Hole. I did it when I had COVID. Yeah. I did it when I was at Game Hole last year. I had to find an empty booth. If you guys remember that, I mean, we just love doing this so much. But we love the fact that you guys support us and you show up every week. And it's just, and look, we're not like some big shows that we don't have any big sponsors. We don't have any sponsors. We don't have any.
Well, we should have a sponsor, but the sponsor should be paying fucking Gary. So you and Bill got to sit down and figure that crap out so I can announce it every week.
So I crashed one of the episodes at North Texas.
Yes.
I was a little lit up, but I mean, I crashed anyway.
Oh, well, we were lit up every episode anyway.
Well,
that's fine.
Those are our favorite episodes. The North Texas ones where people just walk up and wander around. Those are great. We love those. So we've done that for a couple years in a row now too. The North Texas episode, but I'm just gonna go. I know you've heard this before. If you haven't heard it, tough luck. You have to listen. Some people haven't heard this, and I only do this when we have a date like this where we get a 500 or 1,000 or 1,500, but 2020, Eric almost died. I know he downplays it, but he was in the hospital almost all year. Beginning of the year, we had COVID, we had all kinds of shit going on, and we had talked for years about doing a.
Oh,
see, God decided, and then we
had a reboot. Sorry, we rebooted, but we talked. Eric and I had talked for years about doing a talk show, and we talked about it when we worked at conventions. And we said this would be so fun. We could do this. We never did it. We finally said, "Screw it. We're going to start doing it because we don't know what the future holds. You know, why are we waiting? Why are we waiting to do this? Let's just pick a day and just start doing it." So we said, "Okay, Wednesday, we're going to start doing this thing." And we started doing it. We started out slow, had about 30 people, then 50. And it just grew. It just go from there. And of course, then you had the Friday night shows. You had Glenn on. You had some other people. Then you started doing the Saturday night show with Rachel, and it just grew. It just kind of snowballed. And I'm glad, Garrick. I'm just glad we finally decided to do it because we talked and talked and talked about it and said, man, we would have the best show if we talked about it for years. We were like, oh man, we would have the best show if we just did this.
We worked booths at so many conventions together. It was just like, and we were telling the stories. We had that natural. And NYPD.
We're just like, man, we would talk for an hour and go, man, if we could have only recorded that'd have been a great show on YouTube.
The banter is just so natural. It's honestly, God, it was like having a good radio car partner when I was like a rookie cop in the late '90s. A good partner, somebody that you really meshed with, besides the fact that it was safer because they knew what you were going to do and you knew how they thought. The day went by like this because your conversations just flowed, and it's like, oh wow, that's 8.5 hours.
And if you go on YouTube, you can find some of those early shows. Don't watch them. I don't like the way I talked back then. And we were just trying to feel our way. So I don't like our first shows, but I think we hit our stride about a year ago. We started, and after that, it just seemed like it all came natural. I mean, it was okay up to then. We had some good shows, but I really think we hit our stride about a year ago or so. Yep. And then I'll be honest with you, my favorite show is the random party on Friday. I love tuning into those guys. I love when they go off on some tangent and I get mad at them and I tell Eric, put me on. Rob Conley's full of shit. I have to go on and jump on and yell at Rob or yell at Joe the lawyer.
It's the only show that's actually given me a copyright infraction, not a strike.
That's right. Yes,
I actually got a copyright claim because. Listen, they weren't upset about the D&D talk and the D&D movie clip being shown. They weren't upset about the Game of Thrones. But because we didn't say positive things about Amazon's Lord of the Rings upcoming series, they are the ones that gave us a copyright claim.
Ridiculous.
So
well, it just shows we're not kissing the right ass. That's the way we want to be. We don't want to be kissing the right ass.
I don't kiss any asses.
Well, Gary, anything we wanted to add before we end here a little bit? Anything that we missed tonight, or?
I don't think so. I just want to thank everybody. Hey, 50 people already. That's pretty good. And and so I just want to thank everybody for their support. We love the fact that everybody is so dedicated and excited to. Seriously, we just hit 50.
Nice. Oh, nice. Okay.
Christopher Stodgill was number 50. Thank you. But we love the community. We love the people that work so hard to try to want to be here and be a part of this. I will continue to over the next couple of days post updates and try to be real open about vendor tables and things. So on and so forth as I get them up, and we'll just keep moving forward. So again, I just want to emphasize, I mentioned this on Facebook, but I want to emphasize again, if you buy tickets to the convention, we love people who want to forego the discount, but please, if you need the discount or want to take this, please do. That's what it's there for. And we don't want price to be a barrier to entry, and we want people to come and have a good time. And so I just want to thank everybody for everything that they've done to help us. And and by the way,
kids free, right?
12 and under free. Now, okay, but you just IM me because it's a pain to do it any other way. It's easier for me just to generate the ticket. So if you've got a kid 12 or under, send me the info. I'll get it taken care of.
So that's, again, community. That's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what this channel is about. That's what North Texas is about. And that's, I think, why North Texas and this channel are very integrated in a lot of ways. So, Bill Barsh, if you watch this later, I know we're going to have you on in a week or two. Before then, before time we have Bill Barsh from Pacesetter Games on, we're going to make sure that he and Gary connect and figure out how future sponsorships are going to work for this channel.
No problem.
Because the monies are going to go.
He's just so we're clear, he's already mentioned it to me. We just don't have a formalized math yet. So
Figure it out. Figure it out. All I know is that it's another way for me to make sure that the convention, the community that I, honest to God, I'm so grateful to be a part of, continues. So it's just a small thing.
I want to thank the vendors. I want to thank the people who buy Squeaky Cage tickets, the people who buy room sponsorships. The number one thing last year that we hadn't done before that was just amazing, and it's going to be even better next year, the shirt sponsorships for the girls. I'm going to tell you right now, that is a great deal for us. It gives people some advertising, and we have some very generous patrons, and I just want to thank everybody so much for everything they've done.
Very nice. Very cool. Well, Gary, thank you for joining us. I'm sure
no problem.
we will have you back again before next North Texas. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah, I'll do a post-long con follow-up of our depraved Friday Night Battletech or something.
If it includes drinking and Battletech, why not?
Yeah.
So, Mike, thank you as always, but I don't need to thank you. God damn it. What the hell?
No.
Why do I don't
here,
need
no matter what, I'm always here. You can't get rid of me.
I know. I don't need to thank my spouse, damn it. Folks,
nope, don't need to.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all those that have joined the tavern today. I do appreciate it. Again, it just goes to make this show better. Tomorrow, if you're on the Discord server, we do a 9 o'clock hangout from about 9 to 11. Geek talk, gaming talk. God knows, sometimes we've gone into my police stories. Forgive me for getting into those when we did. All right? Not everybody wants to hear that shit. I understand that. But hey. Friday should be the return of Glenn Hellstrom, Old Man Grognard. We had to skip a week and then we had a week off. And Saturday, 8 p.m., myself and Rach, Gamers Health. I'm trying to line up a special guest. Should be interesting if I can. If not, we'll still have a good episode. As always, folks, we're in the endemic. It's no longer a pandemic until they call a new pandemic, in which case we'll be in a new one. But listen, use your common sense. All right? I'm not your mother. I'm not your father. I'm not going to wipe your ass for you after Mike takes a whatever. We're not going to get into that. Use your common sense. You say you wouldn't cast a fireball in a 10 by 10 room and kill your party standing outside the room. You get common sense. Use it when it comes to your health. Be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. I'll catch you all mañana.